Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, we got the UK defense chief. He's angry with Macron, the president of France. Why do you think he's angry? Well, he's angry because Macron tried to avoid certain things, but on the other hand, I think the UK's defense chief has a good point. So let's see. This article comes from Sputnik, and it's from today, the 14th of October 2022. UK defense chief chides Macron for, quote-unquote, revealing his hand on nuclear weapons. So let's see if these guys are going to say it. UK Defense Secretary Ben Wallace has chided French President Emmanuel Macron for a premature reveal of France's stance on non-use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine conflict, even if in response to a geopolitical Russian attack. On Thursday, Macron said Putin would not use nuclear weapons as part of the Ukraine crisis, even if Moscow used them against Kiev. So each country has a a protocol, a dogma, a doctrine of using nuclear weapons, and they have those doctrines put together and agreed upon. How should I put it? After debates, after discussions, after planning, and they are very clear. And why are they very clear? Because they try to create a legitimacy. In case of this happening to our country, then we can do this. That's the only reason. And this nuclear weapons use doctrine, each country can have it differently. Like for instance, Russia has one of the requirements. I think there are four or five. Now there are five, I think, because they update them from time to time. They said that they could use, their doctrine allows them to use if the Russian territory is attacked or its allies are attacked. And then there's a little bit of details over there. Now France says we're not going to use nuclear weapons if another country is attacked by another country. But I don't know their doctrine. Maybe this guy's going to tell us. And what did the UK Defense Secretary want? Did he want to keep that threat? Yeah, that could have been a deterrent to say, well, we might, we don't know, yeah, if you use it, we might, or anything like that. That would deter the other side to say, well, if I use it and they use it and I'm going to use it and they're going to use it, and then that's it, we'll go and see Jesus. So on Thursday, as I said, Macron said Paris would not use nuclear weapons as part of the Ukraine crisis, even if Moscow used them against Kiev. And I'm quoting, "It reveals President Macron's hand," end quote. Wallace commented on France's position and at a NATO ministerial meeting, as quoted by the Telegraph. Meanwhile, NATO sources told the media outlet that Macron's statement threatened, quote-unquote, the principles of deterrence, end quote, adding that they, in turn, quote-unquote, don't go into details on scenarios. Well, the European Union and NATO have ramped up rhetoric about alleged Russian plans to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Russia has slammed the allegations and said it would only use nuclear weapons under the conditions outlined in its constitution. In September, Russian President Vladimir Putin said the West had crossed all boundaries in its anti-Russia policy and constant threats against Moscow, including nuclear blackmail. High-ranking NATO officials have long been talking about the possible and ability of using weapons of mass destruction. I can use it in Romanian, but I can pronounce it in English. Destruction against Moscow, Putin said. In particular, EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell, speaking at the opening of the European Diplomatic Academy in Bruges on Thursday, promised a quote-unquote powerful answer from the military side, end quote, to Russia if the country launched a nuclear attack against Ukraine. Well, I don't know why. Well, first, I think Wallace is right about it. Macron was prematurely stated something that should not have been uttered or spoken. That's one thing. The other thing is, this shows another little situation. Okay, that's France, but Great Britain has nuclear weapons. United States has it, and other countries. So if you just take United States, okay, that's for you. But we're not speak with one voice, are we? It seems like. So Russia says, okay, that's France. That's it. The British did not say that they will not. The Americans did not say they will not. So they didn't show their hands. Unless all three of them are on the same boat. Are they? I think so, because there's only one boat, that's United States. So by Macron saying that, the Russians are not looking at it and saying, okay, out of those three countries, they will, one of them will not use them, but there's the other two. No, because they will form a common front if something like this happen. So I don't think, I mean, I understand Wallace's concern, and it's true. Yeah, you shouldn't have said anything about it. Just leave it in the air, because unknown is more scary than, or scarier than known. So leave it like this. It could happen, it could not happen, but don't say it always is not, because the Russia will take it as the whole thing. It's not going to say only France. And besides, France is not independent. Okay? And regarding Ukraine, don't tell me that France would unilaterally hit Russia. Pfft, you gotta be kidding me. Or just Great Britain unilaterally. No, that's not gonna happen. They got what, 200 nuclear weapons, but that's enough to get the job done. That's true, but they will not. Okay, France is gonna hit Russia. No, I don't think so. It's gonna be all three of them. Why? So Russia cannot just, okay, zoom in one country. It's gonna have to zoom in three, you know. And as always, cowardice is how do you call it? It's not in the, how do you put it, single. It's always more when you have numbers versus one. In this case, I don't know, it's one-on-one, but you have people, you know, coming as a group. Well, they can do that, but we also, or I can also interpret it as such. And I think that that's why it's not going to be only one country in case, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think if Russia will use, which I don't think it will, nuclear weapons in Ukraine, I don't think anybody will move with nuclear weapons. I don't think anybody will do anything anyway. Because once you unsealed that means you're ready to use it further. So what are you going to do? Expose yourself as a target? Because you're going to be a target. Even if you say, okay, now we're going to go in with our military. What do you think the Russians are going to say? Okay, now we go back to our conventional that we're going to lose anyway, right, against you guys. And why am I saying that is because of the weapons, not the population, the weapons. Russia doesn't have the number of weapons the other guys will have. And the other guys probably will not, will just hit from far away. And you can't really hit them unless you use certain kind of missiles. And if you already depleted those missiles, what are you going to hit? Civilians, capitals. So yeah, he showed his hand, and I think he showed everybody's hand by doing that, not only France's hand. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.